torsion field of extremely high intensity, it is theoretically possible to quote-unquote bend space around the device. Consequently, by bending space, you also bend time. Could it be possible that the Nazis were utilizing a bell to conduct scientific experiments in time travel? Interestingly enough, it is important to note that the project was codenamed quote-unquote Chronos, which means time. Now think about that. Now you think about how we go in these big temples and mosques and they look like big vimanas. These domes and mosques and stuff, and you better believe we had the technology to create two opposing winds in there. Think about it, right? Imagine back in the day, we go inside of the temples, the mosques, these big acoustic spaces, and we start to sing in the minor note and a major note, and via sound, it can act as two counter-rotating cylinders, sonoluminescent sound becoming light. That's the light of a reality on the other side. I'm telling you, when people went into church to meet God, that God is the light. These temples and mosques and all that, these are ancient technological places that's no different than the Tesla Tower. That's why they got them antennas on the top. When we used to go inside of these places and leave the earth, my dude, we would get the fuck up off this earth, out the body. That's what we went in them churches and stuff to do. We forgot though. Witkowski also claimed that an industrial complex located near the Wenceslas mine became one of the primary testing sites for Diglok. The ruins of a mysterious concrete framework known as the hinge stands there today, and many have speculated that the hinge was designed to be a type of suspension rig for use when testing the propulsion capabilities of the bell. Skeptics have dismissed this theory, claiming that the hinge is actually nothing more than the remains of an industrial cooling tower. Diglok's fate sparked speculation, with claims suggesting its survival after the Duri's test site evacuation in World War II. Witkowski proposes its relocation to a quote-unquote Nazi-friendly South American country, while Cook suggests a transfer to the U.S. through an agreement with General Hans Kammler, who vanished post-war. Author Joseph P. Farrell presents a theory tying Diglok to the 1965 Kecksburg UFO incident. Witnesses observed a fireball, and in Kecksburg, a mysterious object resembling an acorn with inscriptions was found. The U.S. Army secured the site, but later denied finding anything. Farrell speculates that Kammler used the bell to escape, crash landing in Kecksburg and integrating into society. Oh my! Now watch this. It was a small town called Kecksburg back in the day when they was testing this stuff, where one of these vimanas landed, and they call it the Kecksburg acorn. Now you know what that Vatican acorn is all about, huh? Now we know why the Vatican got an acorn. This is the Kecksburg acorn right here. Now let's look up the Vatican. Excuse me. The Vatican acorn. Everybody know the secrets of leaving the earth like Jesus did, Ezekiel's will. Everybody, all of the prophets that ascended, they did it with technology, and the church know that, man. This acorn is the Babel Tower, y'all. It's another way of showing the Babel Tower, and it's called the Fontana de la Pigma. You see what I'm saying? A fountain. The fountain of life is what it basically is. This is technology being personified. This is the Babel Tower right here. This is your Christmas tree. The Christmas tree, right? And you wrap the lights around it because this is the serpent in the Bible wrapped around a tree of life. Your Christmas tree ceremony is a Garden of Eden ceremony, right? And that's the serpent wrapped around a tree and all that. So same concept. This concept is so normal, y'all, that it is amazing that we didn't pick up on it long time ago. You know, even when you look at that movie called The Signal with Lawrence Fishburne, they show you this vimana at the end of it, that the earth is a big ass vimana. What do we say all the time, man? We say the world is a stage. Even globalists say that. Well, check this out. I'm the collage king. Look, nigga. I'm the collage king. When niggas say the world is a stage, yeah, I'm the type nigga that'll be this thorough and pull up the world and the stage. Now think of a MC in the middle of this stage telling you to raise the roof. Let me see you raise the roof. Raise the roof. You see, they giving you esoteric knowledge, y'all. Raise the roof. See what I'm saying? The stage is a vimana. That's what I'm saying. The world is a stage. Think about it. The earth is a sanctuary. Everything is giving us the truth, but our eyes ain't open. Like a baby that ain't ready to see the sunlight. All of this stuff was based on vimana technology. Now, I want you to realize, some of you are Muslim. If the earth ain't flat, then how are y'all all pointing y'all self toward Mecca in the same direction? No Muslim better not never debate me about the shape of the earth, because y'all know y'all pray toward Mecca now. Muslims all over the world pray toward Mecca, y'all. Ain't that silly? And they think they on a damn globe. If all of you Muslims is praying toward Mecca at the same time, how the hell is that possible on a globe that's spinning and doing all that? Amid conjectures, the common thread is Nazi involvement in peculiar World War II experiments. The extent of their scientific progress remains unclear, leaving enigmatic projects like Die Glocke shrouded in mystery. Most reports referred to in books that deal with the 1947 flying saucer/UFO wave describes crafts that indicate advanced jet/rocket technology. However, there are examples of other seemingly more advanced things. Some reports describe extreme speeds, jerky movements, angle turns, non-aerodynamic maneuvers, climbing as in quote-unquote stairs, buzzing sound, hints of high voltage, craft enveloped in an intense flare, and etc. These reports are characterized by a type of field propulsion/anti-gravity is involved. Again, Shogun's memorandum must be mentioned. Nuclear propulsion, atomic energy engines would probably be unlike any familiar type of energy, although atomic engines might be employed in combination with any of the above types. The term nuclear propulsion is vague, however. It can mean, and in some cases, probably, it is likely that it means any field propulsion or quote-unquote anti-gravity technology that is based on some form of radioactive isotope to provoke these field effects. My tip is that the UFO phenomenon in 1947 was about a majority of jet turbine-powered saucer-shaped aircrafts which extraordinary maneuverability and performance were based on eliminating the problem of, quote-unquote, the boundary layer, and thus reduce air resistance and friction. In parallel with these existed a set of probable unstable/unreliable nuclear-powered vessels, one of which crashed near Roswell. The Germans worked to achieve energy independence in the Third Reich. Particularly interesting was alternative, quote-unquote, free energy sources. According to field propulsion and discussions of UFOs, Hans Kohler and Carl Schappler are often mentioned regarding projects including coils, magnets, and rotation. The Majestic 12 documents, even though they are questionable documents that have been quote-unquote leaked, and we do not know the source, Joseph P. Farrell's viewpoint on page 285 deserves attention. Number one, an authentic level where the technical descriptions of the Roswell wreckage are summarized. Here is a gap between the description of the technology and what one would expect from the descriptions of a technology of extraterrestrial origin. Conversely, there exists detailed parallels between the technology as it is described and various quote-unquote black projects from Nazi Germany. Number two, a level of disinformation where the emerging quote-unquote ET explanation forms a deep cover layer of disinfo behind the official explanation about a crash weather/project mogul balloon. In this context, it is worth mentioning another Majestic 12 document, the 16th of July 1947 air accident report by General Nathan Twining to headquarters. This one is from July immediately after the crash occurred. Number one, as ordered by presidential directive dated the 9th of July 1947, a preliminary investigation of a recovered quote-unquote flying disc and remains of a possible second disc was conducted by the senior staff of this command. The data furnished in this report was provided by the engineering staff personnel of T2 and Aircraft Laboratory Engineering Division T3. Additional data was supplied by the scientific personnel of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, CIT, and the Army Air Force's Scientific Advisory Group, headed by Dr. Theodore von Karman. Further analysis was conducted by personnel from Research and Development. Number two, it is the collective view of this investigative body that the aircraft recovered by the Army and Air Force units near Victoria Peak and Socorro, New Mexico, are not of U.S. manufacture for the following reasons. The circular disc-shaped platform design does not resemble any design currently under development by this command nor of any Navy project. The lack of any external propulsion system, power plant, intake, exhaust either for propeller or jet propulsion warrants this view. The inability of the German scientists from Fort Bliss and White Sands Proving Ground to make a positive identification of a secret German V weapon out of these discs. Though the possibility that the Russians have managed to develop such a craft remains. The lack of any markings, ID numbers, or instructions in Cyrillic has placed serious doubt in the minds of many that the objects recovered are not of Russian manufacture either. Upon examination of the interior of the aircraft, a compartment exhibiting a possible atomic engine was discovered. At least this is the opinion of Dr. Oppenheimer and Dr. von Karman. A possibility exists that part of the craft itself comprises the propulsion system, thus allowing a reactor to function as a heat exchanger and permitting the storage of energy into a substance for later use. I want to just share some with y'all why this is important. This is the technology that started World War II. It would have crashed the banking system of the time, which was milking us with the petroleum industry. Think about this. They're now trying to transition to this thing now, but let me show you why this go into Billy Carson. I already proved to you that the man works for NASA, and I ain't making that up. You know what I'm saying? I'm already proving that to you. So how does watch this. Remember what we played earlier?
And the reason why is because we have their genetics.
Listen.
Okay, take us back to Anunnaki. What are they?
Well,
these giants?
Yeah.
So you think you saw an alien spaceship?
Yeah, because back then I don't believe we had the technology to create a ARV, an alien reproduction vehicle. I think what I saw.
See what I'm saying? You see that? And when our government was testing all this stuff, they was trying to tell the people it was aliens. The first alien story came out in the 40s when they was testing all this stuff right here. And remember, Billy Carson works with NASA. Of course, he would say, we don't have the technology to do that, while knowing that that's what the fuck they got. And so he got to come along and reinforce the alien shit with his story, right? And that's what I'm telling y'all, man. It's all a big fucking agenda. This man ain't no alien, and he on there crying and shit. That's what make me say this is a horrible, evil person. I got a spirit of intuition, and I'm telling you, this dude is very, very. He's sick. He's sick. He sold himself out to the enemy. He know it, and they own him, man, for life. Blood in, blood out. Like they pushing this man around on all of the platforms and shit with his alien story, and people don't know why. Because he works for NASA, and guess what? NASA can't directly push the alien agenda like a fact, but one of their agents can. Sanchez, why are you calling him an agent? Dude, I already showed the receipts that he's a real agent who is a registered member of an agency and is carrying out the agenda of that agency. You see the words? I'm not just calling them that. What's the agenda? They don't want us to know that everything we doing today in a near distant past, it was already done before. The agenda is they don't want you to know that CERN, Tesla cars, Neuralink, quantum computers, we already did it before. The Tartarians, advanced civilizations, they want to make that ancient aliens though. And remember, Billy Carson was on Ancient Aliens. This image right here is what they're hiding. The fact that we ain't doing nothing new. And all the technology that we creating that we call an advanced technology is us reverse engineering the technology of Babylon, the abomination of the Babylonians, Egyptians, Sumerians, technology of wise men trying to play God and reverse engineer the science of spirituality, the science of our souls. You see what I'm saying? That's what this is all about. And he's got a civilian space agency that's in the bed with NASA, creating proposals so that he can get his piece of the pie for helping them perpetuate the agenda. I even went into all the receipts. I ain't gonna be redundant, man. You see what I'm saying? We gotta move on. So here's his proposal. Billy Carson, this is on NASA's website. The dude's a sellout, not because I'm just saying it. I got my receipts, so y'all can't say I'm hating. He's selling out our ancestors to work with the enemy and act like they didn't know what the hell they was talking about.
This may allow the converting of mass into energy, unlike the release of energy of our atomic bombs. The description of the power room is as follows. Number 1. A donut-shaped tube approximately 35 feet in diameter made of what appears to be a plastic material surrounding a central core. This tube was translucent, approximately 1 inch thick. The tube appeared to be filled with a large rod centered inside the tube, was wrapped in a coil of what appears to be copper material, ran through the circumference of the tube. This may be the reactor control mechanism or storage battery. There were no moving parts discernible within the power room. This activation of an electrical potential is believed to be the primary power to the reactor, though it is only a theory at present. Just how a heavy water reactor functions in this environment is unknown. Underneath the power plant was discovered a ball turret approximately 10 feet in diameter. This turret was encompassed by a series of gears that has an unusual ratio not known by any of our engineers. On the underside of the turret were 4 circular cavities coated with some smooth material not identified. These cavities are symmetrical but seem to be movable. Just how is not known. The movement of the turret coincides with the dome-shaped cupola compartment above the power room. It is believed that the main propulsion system is a modeless turbine similar to current development now underway at AMC and the Mogul Project. A possible theory was devised by Dr. August Steinhoff, Dr. Werner von Braun, and Dr. Theodor von Karman. As the craft moves through the air, it somehow draws the oxygen from the atmosphere and by an induction process generates an atomic fusion reaction. The air outside the craft would thus be ionized, thus propelling the craft forward. Coupled with the circular airfoil for lift, the craft would presumably have an unlimited range and airspeed. This may account for the reported absence of any noise and the apparent blue flame often associated with rapid acceleration. On the deck of the power room, there are what resembles typewriter keys, possibly reactor/power plant controls. There were no conventional electronics not wiring to be seen connecting these controls to the propulsion turret. There is a flight deck located inside the cupola section. It is round and domed at the top. The absence of canopy, observation windows/blisters, or any optical projection lends support to the opinion that this craft is either guided by remote viewing or is remotely controlled. Number 1, a semicircular photo tube array, possibly television. Number 2, crew compartments were hermetically sealed via a solidification process. Number 3, no weld marks, rivets, or soldered joints. Number 4.
So check it out, y'all. What I'm gonna do to spice things up, I'm gonna bounce back and forth now from the rest of this to the Joe Rogan Billy Carson joint as well. Now that I've laid a solid foundation.
Craft components appear to be molded and pressed into perfect fit. Some key points. If the craft was of extraterrestrial origin, full of ultra-advanced ET technology, why were the 3 German paperclip rocket scientists called in to inspect the wreck? Thinking of U.S.
Told you, boy, it's not a game. Come on now. Think about this, right? If this is some UFO technology, why didn't y'all call Billy Carson? Y'all called 3 German scientists that was never abducted by an alien. Y'all should have got Billy out there and said, was this the thing that they picked you up in, Billy? See, y'all playing out here, man. This don't make no sense. Now, let's play that back. That went over your head right there. Listen.
Number 3, no weld marks, rivets, or soldered joints. Number 4, craft components appear to be molded and pressed into perfect fit. Some key points. If the craft was of extraterrestrial origin, full of ultra-advanced ET technology, why were the 3 German paperclip rocket scientists called in to inspect the wreck?
Come on, man. They should have called up the alien abductees. Why are we calling these Germans in for? Hey, why didn't they call up Billy, man? Hey, these Germans ain't never been abducted. Come on, they ain't going around making on Joe Rogan and all that. They ain't the expert at the aliens. We need to call up the alien experts. Y'all are tripping. See what I'm saying, man? It don't make sense. Now let's skip over here, right? This is fucking bananas, son. We didn't call up Billy when that shit landed. What are y'all doing? Now, let's get into this Joe Rogan portion, Cause ain't much teaching to do here. This is more of the roast. This is where I'm now gonna give y'all the roasting session. Because I wanna respond to what was said about flat earth, but I don't really wanna really look at it on I'm gonna really be easy on Billy here, because I'm not gonna let this white man make me go harder on this black dude than I go on his ass, because he's the nigga in between it being messy as hell. Because I don't know why he chose to ask Billy Carson, but what do you think about those flat earthers? That was a bitch move. Joe Rogan do a lot of bitch moves and bitch shit on some Club Shay Shay type shit. If you ain't, but what I like about Club Shay Shay will get one nigga to talk about one nigga, but he'll get the other nigga on the show the next week to talk back shit at him. The bitch shit Joe Rogan do is get people on there to talk shit about people, but he don't never get the other person on there to respond. It's a biased ass shady platform of dude buddies and boyfriends that don't like another dude just because of what the fuck his viewpoints is, and you calling us a cult when you're acting like a cult. Nigga, you don't even got a biased platform. That's what I'm telling you, man. A church ain't gonna let no other religion come up on their pulpit and teach a different doctrine. But a place where we interviewing different people for free thought, they should let that. Joe Rogan is a church. Why? Because they ain't gonna let nobody up there that's going against the foundation that NASA laid for us. About aliens and Anunnaki. Think about it. These people will laugh at flat earthers, but they'll believe that Billy got abducted by green men in flying saucers. They'll take that serious, but they won't take the teachings of the ancestors serious on what the ancestors said about the earth. But they'll take Billy Carson serious because he's a good salesman. He can say, that's why he worked for NASA and you don't. You think it's easy, but this is a salesman job. Can you sell it? Can you sell the agenda? And if you can, we'll work through the machine and through all the big platforms, and you'll be a millionaire overnight, like a record deal. But this ain't got none on the rappers, though. Niggas like this and Neil Tyson, they got their hands in a $30 billion a year budget. They making their little 100 millions, but guess what? That's pennies compared to what they selling out for pennies when you think about it. I know what you thinking, hundreds of millions. Bro, they cutting a $30 billion check a year for this shit, for this agenda. And they only giving these pawns 100 million. Do the math. That's part of them. And that's the price of your soul. You laughing at your own ancestors and shit. Knowing that your ancestors were geniuses, but when you bring up the thing that made them a genius because they knew the nature of our universe, the shape of the universe, reality, the flat earth. They knew the earth was a big Tesla coil. You laugh at this though. Oh, they didn't know what they was talking about. But the Mayan calendar is more accurate than any calendar we ever built. We don't got calendars that can predict events into the future. How was they able to predict events into the future? Because they was time travelers. Simple. But guess what modern science will tell you? We don't know how they did it, but the calendar's so accurate. But we never know how they did it. It's because they knew the earth was flat. You got to be an evil person to do this, man. To know this about your ancestors, and these Europeans can pay you a certain amount of money and you will go along with the idea that they're smarter than your DNA, than your blood. You a damn traitor.
Thinking of U.S. secret projects' potential gain, it would probably have been of interest to shield any ET technology from the Germans and their possible contacts 2 years after the war ended. So in other words, When the Germans were called in to inspect the remainings of the craft, it may be taken as an indication that the technology seemed man-made and of German origin. Although the German
And there we go, of German origin. Now let's go to the, I said I was gonna skip back. That's what we doing, skipping around, mix it up a little bit. All right.
On its own, wants to create this circular, like the shape of our Milky Way galaxy, wants to start swirling.
So listen, think about this, right? I've been bringing up the Milky Way galaxy. I'm gonna show you why, because I gotta walk you through this. You won't understand what's happening here. Look at this. Here go the Milky Way galaxy, y'all. This is the concept that they bringing up, and then guess what they gonna do? Segue into flat earth. They know that I know the truth. What did I tell y'all? I said that they're gonna taunt us while they do it. They know that they're liars and that they're evil people. But guess what they gonna do? Hide the truth. They know we're on to them, and they're gonna taunt us, man. So listen to the interview. Because they're going to talk about the Milky Way and how things flatten out in space and then get to the flat earth. Because we've been bringing up the concept of the earth. And if it's going to keep spanning, it's going to eventually be flat over time. That's why Neil said it's oblate, because when it spins, it flattens out like a dude with a pizza dough. The more he spin it, it gets wide and it spans and flatten out. Our universe started from a ball of light. And when it started expanding outward, it took this Milky Way form like what we see in Mecca. That's what the Tesla coil, but in Mecca, we showing you the Tesla coil. What is God? Power, energy. That's what the cube is. That's where the all of the wires on that Tesla coil, they get their energy from the center pole. You see? So all of the people in Mecca is praying to God energy. They saying, you giving us our power. You see what I'm saying? They turned this into a religion, and now we don't know the fucking knowledge behind it. We just servants into spookism and dumb sky daddy ideologies. Y'all, it's sad. This is why I do what I do, man. Because these dudes aggravate me. Like, they know the truth and won't fucking tell it. Money, bro, that important to them niggas? Like, I know money, we need it, bro. But damn, certain things I just, bro, I'm just saying, man, it's got to be some kind of spiritual repercussion for this kind of shit with the ancestors. But listen,
and if that this matter over time would coalesce and become a planet.
Yeah, it creates an accretion disk, and everything in space creates accretion disks.
A what? A disc or a ball? A disc or a ball? A disc or a ball? Does it create a sphere or a disc? You just heard it out of this man's mouth.
So once that
What is that word? Accretion disk?
Accretion, yeah,
What does that
accretion
mean?
disk. So once you have a certain amount of mass in space, it instantaneously, on its own, wants to create this circular, like the shape of our Milky Way galaxy, wants to start circling and swerving around itself. And then as it does that, it begins to create friction. As that friction increases, the matter begins to collapse in towards each other, all right, based on its own energy. And then it then forms a ball. And that then builds and attracts more.
How the fuck? See what I'm saying, y'all? Now, how does that make sense in a model? It doesn't. The only way that makes sense is what I just showed you earlier. Let's go back to the video again, because you might have forgot it. You might have forgot it. Now, when he said that the disk object will form a, think about, you got to listen what he's saying. He said that this disc-shaped object will then form a sphere around it. I just showed y'all that. Let's go back to it. I just showed you that. Look, I'm finna go back to it real quick. Here we go, right here. See, the disc-shaped object is the Earth plane. That would be the Vimana ship. I told you the Earth is a Vimana. I keep telling you that the Earth is a fucking big Vimana. So the Earth is the middle part of a torus field. The atmosphere is the energy field around the Earth. All of the ancestors said that the Earth was in the middle of the universe. So the Earth is what we call the dielectric inertial plane in the middle of a magnetic energy field, and that would be the position that the Vimana occupies in this technology. The Earth is a starship. Every star we see in the sky is one of these right here, y'all. Think of a bunch of hot air balloons polluting the sky. All of the stars are faraway worlds, just like this one. Go watch that movie, The Signal. Go look at the movie, The Signal, and look at the end of it. What he found out what the Earth was, and come back and holler at me. Now check this out, right? This is what you gotta realize. That what I'm showing you is this technology that all the ancients used to get around in the time travel. They created it because they knew the shape of the Earth. The Earth plane, the Earth, right, is the only physical part of this whole starship. The other 99% of it is the field around it. The Earth is like a sheet of paper. This energy field right here is what we're calling the universe. And guess what? Globalists will start laughing at me, but I'm finna show them something, right? I'm gonna show y'all globalists who laughing something. Here is what they give the globalists, y'all, for the map of the universe. Take a minute and sink this in. Take a minute and let this sink in. Now they will take this bull crap right here, y'all, which is them plagiarizing this. Because think about it. If everything is everything, why would you live on the surface of a globe Earth? But now they tell you that the globe Earth is a sphere. They tell you that the universe is a sphere. But they tell you you live on the surface of the Earth and you live inside of the universe, which is a sphere. Now think about how crazy this is, right? The Hebrew said that this bubble we looking at, that this is the universe. This was the Hebrew conception of the universe. The Earth was nothing but a plane that split through the universe. They said the Earth was in the middle of the universe. They turned this into the Death Star. Oh yeah, when your third eye open, you can do things like this. Everybody like and share the video. We almost at 1K. You know that make me happy when we reach my quota, baby. Let's talk about the Death Star. This the Pokemon ball, by the way. Yeah, Pokemon ball, Pokemon. Every star in the sky is one of these. Of a sleeping soul inside that's dreaming of this simulation right here that we all partaking in. Take a minute and take that in. I'm gonna sit that there, because that right there is what they giving you for this now. I mean, they just plagiarize everything, brothers and sisters. Now, I use symbols to activate your third eye. Billy Carson used game to activate your pockets and your wallet. Now check this here out right here. The Death Star is the fact that every star we see in the sky is basically a soul. Ain't no other way for me to say that. You know? Now the thing is this right here, right? In the movie The Matrix, they showed us this image right here. Let's talk about it. When one of these babies wake up, they say a new star was that's the birth of a new star. But where did all that energy come from? It don't just pop up out of nowhere. See, the ancestors was able to explain that. And they showing you the new star right here that's being born out the simulation. This is Sumerian artwork. That's a person that completed all of their incarnations, and now they made it out, and they being welcomed back to Eden by the ancestors. Go read the story of the prodigal son that was welcomed back home after he went to learn himself and know himself. So this is what's happening right here, and I want you to pay attention that this dude that just left the earth, once he get to the other side, they got ribbons on the side of him. You see them ribbons right there? Why? Because I just told you, you are a Vimana. That's how they anchor the Vimana. Remember, I just showed you that? Remember this? He just, all of these ships, this is how they dock with the strings on it. Now, if you think I'm just making this up, I'm a professional at what I do. It's called syncretism. A lot of people don't know what I do. I think I'm going to do a whole stream on that because I'm a real professional. What I'm doing is a skill. It takes a lot of years and dedication. But I'll just read the definition. Syncretism is the practice of combining different beliefs in various schools of thought. Syncretism involves the merging or assimilation of several originally discrete traditions. People, I want to tell you something. When it comes to syncretism, I consider myself the world's best syncretism. This ain't ego. In the world of syncretism, you get your ranks by being able to make connections between things other people didn't see. And you can't lie, bro. When it come to my collages and the connections I make, I'm not to my own harm, but I'm just saying, bro, out of all the syncretists in the world, they would have to admit that damn Sanchez that nigga made connections we didn't even know was connections. Like, think about what the connection I'm about to make now just to show off my gift, right? I love to show off my gift. Watch this. This is called the Eucharist. They got a symbol for the Eucharist. And matter of fact, I'm not going to pull it from there. I already saved it on my shit. So let me go and pull it up real quick. Won't take but 1 second. I'm going to make this connection just to show you something. Sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas. You know what I'm saying? Watch this right here. This is the Eucharist right here. That's the sun and moon around the North Pole. That's the colors of the American flag, red, white, and blue. You see the stars and the stripes? Now watch this though. This symbol right here is a soul coming up out the simulation. Look at here, man. This is all the same concept as making a Santa Claus hat. You see the circle and then the triangle right there? All right, so this is the same concept. Just simple things, man. That this ball you see at the top of right here, it's an anchored Vimana. What does that mean? Sanchez ain't done. I'm just starting. I'm finna make a bunch of connections. I told you that. Watch this. I'm gonna blow you away. Watch this. I'm gonna show you why I brought it up. Now think of the left and right brain, right? Now the left and right brain, right? Those are the two strings that's anchoring the Vimana. What is the Vimana? Let me show you something. What is the Vimana? Is your starship is your mind. Your mind is inside of your brain. Our whole science that we talking about right now is how to get the mind out of the brain, or what we call an out-of-body experience. And it seems like we stuck in the body. You see, this the mind inside the brain. But the left and right hemispheres of the brain is acting like two anchoring strings, keeping the mind tangled up in polarity, left and right. And that's what I'm showing you about the Vimana. Until we cut the ties from that, we can't ascend. Let me show you what this look like once again, though. The left and right brain are acting like the two strings that are helping to stabilize a Vimana. You making all your bumps in the road in your life, you look like a Vimana that's trying to take off. Look, you look like a baby starship. Ain't that cute, y'all? Ain't that cute? You a little baby spirit, little baby starship. See, the reason that Vimana shaped like a triangle is because let's pull up the human chakra layers again. Let's pull them up. Let's see what they shape like. Oh my goodness. God damn it. When you in meditation, you are a rocket. Don't you shape like a rocket? Look at that, a rocket that's pointed up toward the sky with the 2 nostrils on it for the fireballs. Watch this. Watch this. See, the rocket look like a nose, and when you say NASA, that's the root word of nasal. I'm not making this up. It's because when a person is being nosy, they trying to peek on the other side, and that's what NASA doing. They trying to pierce through the veil and see the other side. You didn't know that words tie into reality this way? See, when you look at the rocket going off, you looking at a nose exhaling. Breathing out of your nose, that's meditation. Meditation was the way we got off the earth. And the nostrils was the exhaust pipes of the rocket. The body is a starship. All you got to do is ground yourself like a rocket on a platform, and then with certain breathing techniques, you'll take off. They turned the knowledge of the nasal cavity into nasal. And the nose, the reason it's shaped like a nose is because breathing is the key to getting out the body. Breathing techniques, meditation. It ain't a rocket. It's the body is the rocket. So they know that it ain't an astronaut, it's an astral traveler, right? Going to space is the darkness of your own mind. When you close your eyes, that's the darkness that we travel through. Okay? To go to other worlds. Now, I want to explain something to you. There is a reason we say that the early Christians were Gnostics, and we say that a person that want to peek into other people's business, they are a nosy person. What that got to do with your nose, man? I just told you. Because the nosy people was the first ancestors that said, I want to peek into the next netter. That's like you looking over your neighbor's fence. Let's see what's over there. And we started meditating, going into these other alternate universes. That's being nosy. Why? You had to use your nose to do it. Breathing. See what I'm saying? It's a reason why we say certain words, and that's all the art of syncretism too. And the reason I'm teaching this, because a lot of people think that I made this up myself. But if you look at it, it'll show you when you read syncretism.
Syncretism.
Number 2, the merging of different inflectional varieties of a word. So when a person say a genie in a lamp, I'm going to say a Jonah in a whale. But I wouldn't know that if I wasn't a syncretist. I'm doing this to show you I'm a professional and Billy is a fucking grifter. The word Jonah is the word genie. Okay? And the genie in the lamp is Jonah in the whale. These are the same stories told different ways. Okay? Check it out. And I make collages to make syncretism learnable for everybody. I'm not a gate guard. If I got a gift and a professional skill, I'm going to teach it to my other brothers and sisters. That's why I make these collages so y'all can go do what I'm doing. And don't let nobody laugh at you. You are a professional. They don't know what syncretism is. All niggas know about is Christianity, Buddhism, alien abduction, spookism, Anunnaki, Billy Carson, dumb stuff. Aliens and green men and crazy pseudo stuff. They laughing at me when I'm really practicing an ancient concept, a profession, something that's a real thing.
Syncretism.
That's what I'm telling. I didn't make this up. That's why I'm able to do what I'm doing, bro. I'm able to make these connections because I got good at a skill. What's that skill? Syncretism. I've been doing it so long, I have come to a point now where I have synced so many things together and ain't nobody giving me my roses. That's the crazy thing. But my people, but y'all, let me drop a bomb for y'all. That's all the roses I need, nigga. Now, let's get back to the video. Yeah, the left and right hemispheres of the brain are the 2 anchoring strings keeping the mind trapped in duality in the body. You ain't heard this nowhere else but Bro Sanchez. Before I die, it's gonna go in the best book you ever read. All of my collages, all of my concepts gonna go in one book. It's gonna take me a while, but I ain't rushing it because this ain't about the money. It's about me leaving behind all these connections I done made because I know they gonna delete all this shit at some point. So time ain't nothing we got in our favor. The work need to be done, and that's why I don't really sleep.
More mass until it builds into a moon or a planet or whatever.
What do you do when you encounter flat earth people?
See what I'm saying? This the part I want to talk about. This is the woman-like behavior from Joe Rogan. Men don't move like this. Men don't. And let me tell you what's so crazy about this. The whole world don't care about gay people. If you scared to be around gay people, they say you homophobia. I'm gonna make a new word. You niggas is flatophobia. What do you do when you around flat earth believers? Ooh, I put on my COVID mask and go the other way. I take precautions because you know they got the cooties. Bitch, we just humans who think the earth is flat. That mean if you got around the ancient Egyptians, you'll act funny because they the ones who thought the earth was flat too, nigga. The Mayans did too. What do you think Nut and Gab is? Like, these are a bunch of hypocrites because they be on these platforms giving the ancients concept on certain things, and on other things they say aliens did it. You see what I'm saying? Joe Rogan part of the agenda with his messy ass. Messy old ass, man. What do you do when you encounter flat earthers? I fart 2 times and do 10 jumping jacks and snap my hands like this. Like, what the fuck kind of question is that? That's like saying, what do you do when you encounter a Christian? What do you do when you encounter a Muslim? What do you do when you encounter a gay man? You don't do none of that. You like, hey, how you doing, man? You don't judge people based on their sex, their ideology, their religion, their weight, their age. But only flat earthers, everywhere you go, is a green light for them. Even the gay man and gay woman get more respect for them. Even the fucking murderer do. Because if you was to say, what do you do when you encounter an ex-prisoner who went to jail for murderer? Nothing. I say, what up, my nigga? He's a human. I met plenty of murderers before, smoked blunts with them, drunk beer. Damn it, nigga. What do you do when you encounter a fat man? Where do you only do this with the flat earthers? What do you do when you encounter a Buddhist monk? Don't you know it's people on this earth that believe a way more crazier shit than flat earthers? And this ain't a belief. We proving our shit with advanced science that the world just ain't ready for. We ahead of our time. But think about this right here, though. It's people out there that literally believe in talking snakes. And nobody say, what do you do when you encounter a Jewish rabbi who just did an oral circumcision? You do nothing. You call him father. Y'all be calling. We need another word for the P word. Y'all be calling PDF files, you know, like the computer shit. Everybody got PDF files, you know. I got PDF files on my shit too. We be calling these religious PDF files father and rabbi and Abba. But you want to call flat earthers morons and lunatics and dangers to society when this man just gave an oral circumcision and you called him father. Y'all see it don't make no sense, right? You see what I'm saying? His ideology is literally harming a baby. Mine ain't doing that but making you rethink Nut and Gab. It's making you rethink how much our ancestors knew. That's all. Maybe they was right about the shape of the earth, and maybe we been lied to. If to the least, that's all we doing. And I got so much proof for my argument and showing you how many other people like Nikola Tesla, all of these paperclip scientists, all of them was saying what I'm saying in the 40s too. They just hid this, y'all. How is it so dangerous for me to say, hey man, maybe the Egyptians was right about Nut and Geb. Maybe the Mayans were right about the shape of the earth. After all, you said they made a more accurate calendar than us. You know how the Mayans was able to see time into the future, right? If not, I'm about to teach it to you right now. I'm about to teach it to you right now. We got new people. Because the Mayans knew that time is a ripple effect. That's what the Mayans knew. So if you look at a Mayan calendar, guess what? It got long counts and short counts. You know why? Because the Mayan knew that the sky, see, the sky is keeping time. But the Mayan knew as above, so below. The time zones on the earth are all the zodiac symbols in the heavens. And they knew that each zodiac was an age that passed from Pisces, Aquarius, and they represented it by a god. But the God in the middle of all the zodiac was the Most High. That's Jesus in the middle of his disciples. That's why you got this deity in the middle of this calendar. And guess what? All of the disciples follow God. Just like when you move a queen bee, the whole hive move and build a nest around her. This is all the stars around Polaris. See this calendar right here? How did the Mayan know about time travel? How did the Mayan was able to see into the future? Watch this. Because the Mayan studied the stars. The Mayan went outside all the time and looked up at the stars. They didn't work for NASA. They didn't have an agenda like Billy Carson. This is what the Mayan knew, how the sky worked like this. And they built their calendar accordingly. With Polaris represented by a deity, that's Kronos, or what you call Saturn, the Lord of the Rings. You see why? The Lord of the Rings? That's the all-seeing eye in the top of your dome. This is how the mosque is built. You ever been in a church? It's built like the fucking earth, dude. All of these signs in front of your face and you'll still deny it. That let me know everybody ain't meant to be saved. Not everyone want to reconnect with the ancestors, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm on a path to follow the trail of my forefathers to the path of righteousness. Maybe that ain't for you. Maybe you want to take the Billy path and go with the agency and the technocracy. That's what you want to do with this knowledge versus heal the soul. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. We trying to throw technology at thing all the time for problems. Look at the condition of these humans on earth. Everybody broken. Everybody in a low state. Our children are taking antidepressants and all this. The music is gloomy and dark. Crime at an all-time high. Overdoses and all that. But we create more technology. We want to make better technology saying that'll make a better world. But really, if we make better humans, that'll make a better world. You can take all the technology away and all we gonna have is each other. And if we ain't built right, it's still gonna be chaos. All the technology doing is allowing us to kill ourselves quicker. Look at these niggas with these extended clips in their pockets shooting the block up. We ain't doing nothing good with all this technology. Before you try to make better technology, how about you make better people first? Because if you got a bunch of demons walking around with good technology, you just giving them access to kill themselves quicker, and that's by design. The ancestors had the same technology we had, and they created a utopia on the earth. How we doing this with it? That's what I'm saying, because everything is about intent. And the tech gurus of our world are driven by a dollar, not by making a better world, but making a better business strategy, making a better consumer. And you can't make better people if that's your agenda. You only gonna keep trying to sell us more and more technology so we can buy into technology being the savior for all the problems when the root of everything wrong and the problem is us. Everything wrong, we the root of it. You can't build better machines before you build better people, because if you do that, the phone's gonna be smarter than the people. If you do that, the machines will start to police us, and that's by design. If you build better technology and better machines before you build better human beings, it's because eventually you want the technology to police us. We see this agenda. How y'all don't see that, man? I'm a country boy from the South with a stutter. Let's go.
Oh man, I just try to be quiet. I just tell them, look, it's not my thing. You know, I remember Flat Earth Society.
You know, I just tell them, you know, it's not my thing, like a gay man. Ain't nobody trying to make it like we trying to come on to you. Like, what do you do when you're encountered by a she-male? You know, I tell them it's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, flat earthers ain't trying to press you like that, nigga. If anything, we saying, bro, let's debate. Because we know it ain't your thing, and we got smoke for you, coward. You damn coward. Let's go.
Like 3 days. I left.
And Joe Rogan is another big motherfucking, y'all do feminine shit on these podcasts, boy. Break all the man code. What do you think about those flat earthers on some little hoe shit?
This podcast for 3 days. I was like, God damn. First of all, how the fuck is he so smart? Like, how would you ever imagine that a dude who,
Like, you ain't, like, fuck what he think about another man, nigga. Who gives a fuck? You bringing this nigga, what do you think about those gangsters in L.A.? Or what do you think about those motherfucking, you know, bro, fuck what he think about another. Why you trying to set him up to throw shots at a nigga? That's whole shit. Get the nigga on and do a debate and moderate it. Put the time clock up, you fucking cowards. What do you think about those flat earthers? I just tell them, it's not my thing. You know, I don't, shut y'all dumb, goofy asses up. You either gonna debate the niggas or you ain't, or quit talking about them. Goddamn, it's simple, man shit, manly shit.
who's an actor on a television show?
Either debate them niggas and give them the fade or quit talking about them. That's how men move. Because if you my homeboy and you keep bringing up flat earthers around me, I'm going to say, bro, why don't you debate them folks, man? Why? I don't want to keep hearing you bitch about these folks. Why don't you go debate bro Sanchez? Every time we hook up, you want a nigga to ask you about flat earthers, man. Won't you debate them folks, bro? Like, that's man shit. You ain't no friend if you ain't telling your homeboy that. Like, bro, them people on your mind a lot. Why don't you sit down and go and give them a fade? Like, be a man, nigga. Especially when they calling your punk ass out. You punks.
Or in a movie, is that smart?
Right,
like freaky smart.
Right.
But his theory about the creation of planets, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
And they're in the chat, the earth is flat. And I was like, no, I don't believe the earth is flat. I'm not getting involved with this. And they really attacked me hard.
Dude, prove it. Show the receipts. Everything I showed up with the day I brought receipts, nigga. Ain't nobody giving you death threats. We saying you an agent, nigga. We ain't calling you nothing but an agent. Y'all think flat earthers are out here giving people death threats, nigga? Come on, why they trying to... See, they're trying to demonize this group and make us like a terrorist group. I've been telling y'all that. The first step to targeting a people is to silence them and take their voice away. Then you got to give them a title, classify them. That's dangerous. Terroristic, science deniers. That's dangerous. They're gonna start looking at this shit as a terrorist act. And this is the same thing they did with Nikola Tesla and Adolf Hitler, man. I just showed you that. Let me pull up to you why they start saying, think about it. Everything they saying about flat earthers, they were saying it about Tesla. This is a crazy man. What is he doing in that building with all this electricity? We see sparks coming from the top of it. Wow, what is Tesla doing? They made it like, yeah, and you see what I'm saying? Same thing with Hitler. The Germans have technology that is very dangerous. Let me show you what the Germans had. Let me show you. Because when I show you what the Germans had, that made everybody start saying, Hitler is a madman. He's dangerous. This is terroristic. This right here was what they had, family. This was what they had. Guess what this is? The vimana. It's a vimana, bro. It's the propulsion technology I've been telling you about. This what they found out in the 40s, but they didn't want it in the petroleum industry. This is designed like our brain, dog, with the left and right brain that's split in the middle. This is designed like the human skull. The earth is the brain. That's what I'm telling y'all. This is based on the spine and the brain, the central nervous system. The spine and the brain is the tree of life. What we see here, the spinal cord and the brain, the trunk of the tree and the branches. The branches are the neural networks that's distributed through the brain. The brain is 90% water. Water is a conduit for electricity. You ever throw a TV in a swimming pool? So you have an electric outlet plug in the middle of your brain. That's called the pineal gland. But since the brain is all water, it's like dropping a fucking electric object in a swimming pool. That electricity gonna expand to all the corners of the pool. And this what's happening with the neural highways coming out from the pineal gland in the center. The pineal gland is like the object that's thrown into the water. That's the fallen angel. That's a being of electric energy. It falls into the brain, which is water, and all water acts as a medium to transmit that electricity in a form of neural highways all throughout the brain like a plasma ball. Like a plasma ball, right? That's really what the brain is. You ain't gonna get this from Billy Carson. Guess what you gonna get? I was abducted by aliens and they probed me in my booty hole on a silver table. That's what I'm telling you, bro, because he ain't connected with our ancestors. Guess who he connected with? The European Space Agency and NASA. That's why he can't do what I'm doing. He can't do what I'm doing because he ain't free to do it. I'm a free soul. I can tell the truth. I can tell the truth. Because I ain't got no obligations to none of these agencies. I ain't an agent. He's not like us, y'all. Now, how did the Mayan know how to see into the future? Because this is how the Mayans saw the earth, like a ripple effect. Each one of these rings is a point in time, a wrinkle in time, a wrinkle in time. And each wrinkle, like, let's say that back ring is the 1600s. It's like a vinyl record. Each ring on a vinyl record is a different song. And each ring in this solar system is a different planet or a net enclosed or a plane enclosed in a net. That's why we say planet. These are the planets right here, y'all. The word planet is a plane that's enclosed inside of a net. Here they are right here. Each of the planes are enclosed in their own net. See what I'm saying? So let's pull that back up one time. Let me go back to why they had to say, because it goes to Billy Carson. Billy Carson said, we are mean and dangerous and we make death threats. He lied. We don't do that. We just try to share information. Now watch this though. Why does he gotta paint flat earthers like how they tried to paint Adolf Hitler? Because it's the same people that are battling against the same truth. This is what Hitler was showing the world right here. And this is where we're showing the world. You see that? It's a spiritual battle that I'm fighting against these devils. And this war been going on before me, y'all. That's why I'm so proud to be a part of the righteous army. It ain't about the money with me. I know that the people that died who was doing what I'm doing, Nikola Tesla and all the ancestors and stuff, I know that they on the other side and they cheat. They know that they on another layer and that I'm gonna be rewarded for this. Child, you did good. You a soldier. This is what I'm driven by, because I know for a fact that what I'm connected with that's giving me these revelations is some real energy on the other side, and it is letting me know I'm doing the right thing, man. I sleep good at night. I sleep better than Billy Carson. You know, because I don't got no guilty consciousness, and sell out. I know I ain't sell out. So this is why they tried to make Hitler a madman, because he was trying to present this same concept of free energy and free propulsion, advanced propulsion systems. So, you know, this was in the 40s right here, and here we are in 2024 with the flat earthers giving you this. And they did the same thing to Hitler, tried to make him out to be a monster and a madman. Look at Billy Carson is a big sissy. That nigga broke out crying on that show, broke out in tears, talking about the aliens abducted me. Everybody parade him around and treat him like a big ass baby. It's a bad look for masculinity. They're picking on me, giving me death threats. You a damn lie, nigga. Debate them people with your scary ass.
Death threats and everything else.
They get very upset.
Yeah.
Like, this is what they did with Adolf Hitler. Do I sound upset or passionate? They never say Creflo Dollar sound upset. There's another bishop that be yelling at his people to bring him his money for the tithes. This is passion. When Neil deGrasse Tyson got on that stage yelling with his face frowned up, looking stupid, dropping that microphone, did anybody say he get very upset? Y'all act like hoes, nigga. Y'all act like women. Ooh, you mad? You mad? That's what women do. And we shouldn't allow this in masculine places. Y'all some bitches. Look at Neil deGrasse Tyson right here. Does this look like this man right here don't look happy to me? He look like he's pissed off at these flat earthers. Look at this man. The nigga got sweat on his shirt, look like right here on the top. But anyway, your boy big mad. Do you think flat earthers came out and said, oh, you mad? No, we came out and proved them wrong with slides and receipts. We accepted his challenge. We didn't go bicker like bitches on the podcast while ducking the smoke, talking about, oh, you mad like hoes. Man, this some hoe shit right here. They get real mad. Ain't nobody threatening your life, nigga. We just saying you a bitch because you don't want to debate, but you keep speaking on people. Hoe shit. We're men. And Joe Rogan acting like a whole big bitch in this thing. What do you think about those flat earthers? That right there, Red, stop. Either get them people on or shut up, bro. This is against the man code. You've been ducking smoke for too long with these folks' name in your mouth.
I do not understand. I just think it's people committing to an idea.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Well, it's a religion now.
It don't make sense that Billy Carson can be abducted by an alien. I don't get how it don't make sense. It make perfect fucking sense. Nothing is more easier to prove than the flat earth. Anybody saying it don't make sense haven't given it the time of day. That's facts. Because ain't no way it made sense to the Egyptians, the Vedics, the Mayans, Tesla, Hitler, all of these so-called geniuses that walked the earth. All these geniuses were called madmen, just like Hitler. 1 minute you call him a genius, next minute, why you so mad? He dangerous. Ooh, oh, save me. He's mad. Stop it. He's... You little bitches. You did the same thing with Tesla. He's dangerous. What he's doing in that building, in that Wardenclyffe Tower. Ooh, he thinks he's God. Ooh, I saw an electricity spark this morning. That can hurt the kids. Ooh, they tore it down because they said it was a hazard. They use safety to get rid of the truth. They use the word dangerous and death threats, and they get mad. They're madmen. They did that to Hitler. Y'all, these are the same people working for the same agencies, and they didn't make a new strategy. They're fucking so predictable that it's infuriating. It does make you mad that you niggas is so predictable. You niggas is sellouts, man.
They turned it into a religion. Anytime that people can attack you so brutal.
See what I'm saying? Act like a bit, they can attack you. So all we doing is inviting you to a debate, dog. Be a man. Anytime people can attack you so brutally. How are we attacking you, nigga? By saying, look at this nut and gab collage, let's debate about it? By pointing out the fact that you're a goddamn agent, but then showing receipts for it? Why are you calling it an attack when a person call you an agent if you're an agent? Why aren't you proud of what the fuck you are? You signed up to be a member of this shit. I'm just showing public information. Why don't you want it to be known to the people that you're an agent? Why ain't you proud of this? Why is this an attack for me to expose the truth about you and your agenda? Why would that be an attack if you're proud of what you're doing? You should be saying, fuck them flat earthers. They can't do nothing but say I'm an agent. I am an agent, and you should be an agent. Your children should go work for NASA. Your children should be, why he don't got that energy? Why he got the same energy if I say, man, he a Freemason. Man, you attacking me. Nigga, you a Freemason. You a sellout. You're an agent. You took an oath. You can get mad all you want, but you join the Freemasons, man. I'm just telling the folks what you are. Why is that an insult to you? Y'all be joining shit that you want to keep secret because you join it for monetary intentions. But you ain't really proud of what the fuck you doing, because if you was, you wouldn't see me exposing this about you as a damn attack. You damn crybaby ass coward. Ain't nobody doing that but looking at your behavior and then verbalizing it. You act like a sissy, man. You a grown man. Grow the fuck up and quit bitching a big mama. You know, Big Mama is Joe Rogan. They attacking me. They telling me death threats. They're dangerous. Like, shut your ass up, nigga, you sissy. People just want to debate you, fool.
Brutally over that. I mean, I'm on live talking about quantum physics, and they're in the chat. The Earth is flat. The Earth is.
So debate them. If you're a physicist, if you're online talking about quantum physics, and somebody show up and say, the earth flat, man, quantum physics is bullshit. Guess what you ought to say? Debate me on that. Prove me. Everybody hear me say this all the time. Prove me wrong. I'm not going to censor you. I'm not going to say you attacking me. I'm going to say, nigga, let's set up a debate. We can make it pay-per-view. Email me and let's do the debate tomorrow. I'm so approachable that when I see smoke in my chat room, I may drop my link right in the middle of my show, nigga, and say, come on, let's debate about it. That's a person that I'm a man, nigga. I'm a man. Because if I'm up here saying something out of my mouth, I should allow others to challenge me on what I'm saying, unless I'm a pussy who think I'm God and you can't question me. I'm some bougie, egotistical motherfucker. Some big baby that everybody pamper around and treat like a big ass baby. That's Billy Carson. Y'all pampering this sissy. Let that nigga fight. Quit somebody tell that nigga, quit crying, man. Ain't nobody victimizing you. Them folks been trying to debate you, nigga. You duck in the smoke. Be a man. This is sissy behavior. I'm finna do a poll in the chat room right now, bro. I know I ain't reaching.
I mean, so that's like, I mean, one guy.
I'm fascinated by it because
it's interesting.
Yeah, because it's the ultimate conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
The ultimate
conspiracy theory is that aliens abducted me out of my fucking bedroom on a UFO ship. I don't understand y'all niggas. How you telling me, you saying flat earth is a religion, right? When this is provable science based upon real science, electromagnetism. But this Billy Carson really got a belief system. Everybody gotta believe that he was abducted by aliens. That's a religion. That's Billy Carson's religion. Flat earthers ain't giving you nothing you gotta believe. We say go and prove us wrong. A pastor ain't telling you that, how that's a religion. You can't question the Bible. We telling you to question everything in the flat earth movement. It's the opposite of a religion. Niggas that's saying they was abducted by aliens, they're giving you a damn bizarre religion. Oh yeah, and I want this channel called OSM Vision to know that I'm on y'all ass, boy, y'all nuts, and I'm on your head, you costume wearing ass, old ass niggas. Oh, and I'm gonna rip your shit apart, nigga, with no mercy. Y'all gonna quit playing with the flat earth in your mouth too. Your shit coming up. Everybody gonna get it, trust me. Now watch this, right?
So you think you saw an alien spaceship?
Yeah, because back then I don't believe we had the technology to create a ARV, an alien reproduction vehicle. I think what I saw was probably a real UFO.
Wow. Are you the first black guy to see a UFO?
No, I'm not the first black guy. I'm just one of the between.
That's why the star signification at all.
I want to go to the part where he started crying.
And interact with specific people at specific times. I mean, you know, to what agenda? At the end of the day, we're
like what he's basically saying is these aliens interact with specific people at specific times. In other words, Billy is special. Everybody be telling me Sanchez think he right and everybody else wrong. This man is telling you advanced beings flew across light years across the universe to come meet up with him in his house, but they didn't come meet you. And that they only come to specific people. This is Christianity all over again. God only come to specific people, and everybody else got to learn about God through the prophets. That's what's going on here. The aliens only come to a few people, Umar Johnson, Young Pharaoh, and Billy Carson. And if you want to learn about the nature of the gods of these advanced beings, we got to interview Billy Carson, because they didn't come to you. This is literally a religion. I got to believe that aliens came to your silly ass and buy into your bullshit. I'm not giving people nothing that they got to believe. You know the ancestors said the earth was flat. Now you need to go and see if they was right or not. I'm telling you to question everything, prove everything. I'm not looking at it like you're attacking me because you questioning my shit. I'm telling you to question my shit, to go and see if it check out, prove me wrong. That's a person that's knowing that they telling the truth, y'all. Anybody lying to you is gonna look at it like you're attacking them when you challenging their information. And that's what this fucking coward is doing. I don't like this nigga, and I don't like Brother Rich either. I swear to God, why can't we do the celebrity boxing, y'all weak ass, coward ass niggas? I swear I'm gonna keep growing my community of real man to show them the difference between brave hearts and pussies that don't like smoke, nigga. Y'all are hoes, and Joe Rogan too.
Conspiracy theory is that we are all on a set.
You think flat earth is so hard to grasp, but you can get all into this shit about a man being abducted by a fucking alien. They only want to promote the dumb shit. Anything that will get your mind to thinking about the truth and activating your pineal gland to see the true nature about yourself in this place, they gonna attack it. It's a threat, it's a danger. Not to you, but to their system of indoctrination, nigga. niggas talking about aliens and shit. We up here talking about Tesla coils, how the earth powers itself, how our ancestors saw the earth. And y'all mad. You see that as a threat. But this nigga can talk about him being abducted. Fuck out of here, man. Shit ain't right, bro. The aliens are the ancestors. They was able to travel throughout the universe at the speed of light. The only thing that travels at the speed of light is the speed of thought. And our thoughts are light. It's the pineal gland, it's the light inside of the brain. That travel at light speed, it is light. How does it travel at light speed? Through BCI technology. It simply uploads in a second. Boom. And boom, beam me up, you in another world. Extracted consciousness from the body. Each one of those holes on that hat is connecting to a different neural cluster where these neurons build. Like, think of a plasma ball. You know what it looked like. Each one of them tentacles is one of these circles on the hat. The string, see, your brain's neurons expand beyond your brain as a wireless signal that can be uploaded. And this was called alien, they calling that alien abduction. But it's really uploading consciousness, and they use technology to travel the cosmos. It was brain computer interfacing technology and upload through different alternative simulations. This is why he didn't wear that big goofy hat because it was comfortable. Of course that ain't no comfortable hat. If you think the Pharaoh just walked around everywhere with a big ass goofy hat on like that, you silly. Hell no. They only wore that because it was technology that was gonna allow him to cross over. That's why every time you see him, he's in a certain position as if he finna take flight. You see what I'm saying? So he got his North Pole hat on, all that, because this is the secrets of how the consciousness travels up the spinal cord. The spinal cord is the North Pole. So the top of that hat is directly aligned to the pineal gland. It's directly above it. It's receiving a wireless signal. And the shape of the hat is telling you what happens with spaghettification. Everything reaches a bottleneck. Okay? I've been studying this a long time, y'all. When people give me money, it becomes something I take serious, man. That's what I'm telling you. Think about what I'm telling you. I'm a professional at what I do, bro. And I gotta toot my own horn. I'm just saying. The hat is talking about the bottleneck concept of spaghettification. That's all I'm saying. I like this one. That's the Santa Claus hat. This is a good example right here, because it's showing you how we walk through the portal that's toward. This thing rips a hole in the ether, it creates a vacuum. And boom, you can, in other words, what am I telling you? We learned how to create wormholes in the 40s. That would have changed the way we transport ourselves on Earth. It's possible, right, for me to create a wormhole in New York and connect the end of it to California. And if I wanted to ship you a car, I can just dial up your address and aim the wormhole at your house. And if I'm the dealership, I can have my end of the wormhole at the car shop. And then we can just have someone drive the car through the wormhole, and it'll be right in your driveway. And that person can just walk back through the wormhole and be back in New York. And we can ship your car to you free of charge, because this vortex is free to make. It's so easy to make. It's just 2 counter-rotating cylinders tearing up an opening in the ether. What I'm saying may sound like some out of a sci-fi movie, but they spending trillions of dollars to make this concept work. This is what science is currently trying to do with CERN. This will change the way we travel. What I'm telling y'all is that we figured this out in the 40s, but they wasn't ready yet for us to come with this because they were selling gas. The shipping industry was making trillions. Why would you want to change it? Why would you introduce this technology? Now, look at this right here. This right here is a wormhole, right? Now, watch this right here. Let's look at the symbol of CERN. This was the knowledge of Adolf Hitler. See, this right here is what the swastika was all about. Sit. The symbol of CERN is the swastika. It represents sit, which is the vortex energy. See what I'm saying? Now, don't you find it crazy? Because check this out, right? Wormholes are real. And they want to laugh at everything just until they can figure it out. And then it ain't funny no more. It's new technology that we just discovered. But when other people was telling you about it way before that, you was laughing at it, calling it dangerous and censoring it. You only gonna bring it out when you can capitalize off it and monetize it. And that's why the world can't move forward. Because man trying to lace his pockets. They trying to create better business strategies, not better people. They don't want this knowledge to be used for the right purposes. But check this out, y'all. Look at the Santa Claus hat one more time now. This is the knowledge of spaghettification. Warp zone. Mario traveled down a pipe to warp through the worlds. All the symbols and shit is in front of us. This is Billy Carson Space Agency. He's in the bed with NASA. I've given you all the receipts. And at this time, I'm just going to give you everything else I said I'm going to give you. I owe you a video from JT. And I owe you a review of his flat earth talk on this podcast. So let's finish it.
And that the earth is flat, it's a disc, there's a wall, the government's aware of it, they won't let you pass a certain distance. Yeah, there's ice walls.
Yeah.
And that space is just lights in the sky.
Right, that's it. And the sun is a bulb and all this kind of stuff. It's wild.
And it's attached to...
Y'all think the claims we make is more wilder than Billy Carson's abduction story? This ought to show y'all that this is a crazy agenda, bro. Real talk.
We're like ants.
Did you have any? No. Believed what he saw.
I got to find a part where he started crying, bro. I got to find it.
Yeah. All the lights turned dim. The TV turned.
Oh, I found it. Y'all talking about flat earthers on this bitch, and look at your boy.
You came out of the closet? No.
Visitations or sightings or whatever you want to call them. And so it's quite possible that they isolate and interact with specific people at specific times. I mean, to what agenda? At the end of the day, we're like ants.
Did you have any communication at all? Did you feel anything in the moment?
I felt nothing in that moment. I had a second experience in 2010, which is well documented. I've talked about it. It took years to come out about it because I basically lost my whole family over this.
No way.
Yeah.
You came out of the closet?
No. And I went over this. I already reviewed this before, so I'm not going to review this one again. I just want to revisit it to show you. This man is saying that the flat earth concept is so stupid and bizarre when they are based upon the oldest scientific concepts dating all the way back to the Mayan. Look at all of the knowledge I taught you here, because I didn't just bring receipts on Billy to show you that he's an agent. I also brought a lot of information and knowledge to enlighten you with the history of this scam and how they are desecrating the knowledge of our ancestors. I didn't show up today to play no games. You got to give credit where credit is due. Why? Because if we don't support this, look at how much power is against us. I'm one little dude and a microphone I got to go against niggas with hundreds of millions of dollars. and I'm still putting up a worthy fight against these people. We are a small group that's really putting up a good fight against big ass agencies, nigga. That's why I'm telling you to rep this shit proudly. These folks scared of us, and they got all of the sheeple at their disposal, all of the media outlets, all of the money, but they still shitting bricks. That ought to make you feel proud, man. That ought to make you feel proud. I'm just saying. It's like David versus Goliath, nigga. And we putting up a fight against the giants. Grassroots versus machine, nigga. And we really kicking ass. That's what I'm saying.
No, Diddy. No.
But yeah,
Tell me, what happened?
Look at these sissies.
So 2010, I came home.
Crying and shit. Niggas got his arm around you and shit. All this energy, this alien abduction energy is so soft and not masculine.
I was working on this big...
That's why y'all niggas like to be probed so much. Ooh, probe me, abduct me.
project called Fort Terra Nova, which I built. And Fort Terra Nova, it was on the History Channel, a Countdown to Apocalypse, the Nostradamus episode. And anyway, so...
This is him bragging, but not bragging, that, yes, I'm on History Channel. I do, because you're a sellout, nigga. You sold your soul. Who cares?
I was working on this project. I come home, I'm looking at ESPN, and I'm looking at sports. About 9 o'clock p.m. All the lights turn dim, the TV turns off, and I thought my kids were playing a trick on me because they lived up in the room behind me, up on the second floor. And I look up, and there's nobody there. When I turn around, there were these two beings right there.
Get the
You're a goddamn lie. That's why he said that everybody know that's a lie.
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That man got his arm around your damn back. See, if I was sitting in Billy Carson seat, I would have said, hey, excuse me, my brother, can you move your arm? I'm a bit uncomfortable. I want to lean back a little bit. Ain't no way you gonna have your arm around me like that with them short shorts on and that ponytail. See, you can do that with Billy because Billy is a soft as hell. He stay crying and shit and bitching. They're dangerous. They're victim. He stay in a bitch mode, victim mentality. Crybaby, man. This is the opposite of... Nigga, I don't know how Billy's wife is laying next to this big-ass baby. Billy, you might want to go through her phone, nigga. Because every now and then when a woman is married to a bitch nigga, she like to get dicked down by a soldier, nigga. I'm just telling you some real shit. And she gonna tell that soldier, yeah, dick me down like a nigga that ain't crying all the motherfucking time. I'm serious, women. The women, listen. The dick feel different from the man that don't cry that much. It feel more aggressive, like, raw. I know because I'm that nigga. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, nigga. And I've been with women that say, yeah, my man, he stay crying to me all the time and shit. And Sanchez, you're a leader. You're a solution-based man. You don't bitch all the time. If somebody call you out for a debate, you go and get the smoke. You don't turn the fade down. But every time niggas call my man out for a debate, he say, baby, they're attacking me. Baby, they're threatening me. Baby, they won't leave me alone. And if I was your wife, I would say, bitch, nigga, leave me alone. Why don't you debate that man? Shit. Quit crying so damn much to everybody.
And, whew. Man, hold on.
Whoa.
Sorry.
No.
It is so easy for him to just bust out into tears. He's a very emotional fucking roller coaster like a whole hoe. He's a whole bitch, boy. I don't like this nigga. He's so soft. Crying ass nigga. Won't you debate a nigga?
You a version of Christianity, which is very interesting.
It is. It's tied into Christianity, the 6,000-year-old theme. The Earth is only 6,000 years old. The reason why people think the Earth is 6,000 years old is because most of the tablets are 6,000 years old, and the Bible was written.
Okay, then they about to go into some shit about the tablets, and they not talking about flat Earth no more. So that's the end of that. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually review this whole interview, or at least most of it as I want to. Probably like 30 minutes of it from beginning to end, and be on the lookout for that. But this was mainly to respond to his flat Earth portion and to expose who he is, why I say he's an agent, and why he's the enemy of flat Earth. I wanted to show you the big agenda and how deep the rabbit hole go and who these people are. If I did a good job, drop your boy some fireballs, drop your boy some bombs, man. All right, and hit that Cash App if you didn't hit it. We appreciate everybody that supported the show. Y'all are awesome for that. Real talk. Everybody that hit the Cash App, everybody that hit the PayPal and got calendars, that got documentaries. Hey, man, let's clap that up. We don't need to sell out. We'll sponsor our own message, even if they try to censor it. And you better believe that what y'all do allow me to do what I do. It allowed me to be in front of this computer on this mic for hours and hours and hours, giving you this very important and vital, enlightening information. And y'all allow me to have the luxury of the time to do that. We got truckers on the road. We got people at work. They like to have they broadcast going for long hours. You got people working for 12 hours on a job. You got people working 16-hour shifts. Where my truckers at? If you are listening to this stream and you're a trucker on the road right now, drop a 3 in the chat room. We got a lot of truckers that be hitting the Cash App up, man. We got a lot of truckers that be hitting the Cash App up, and they let me know, man, I like the long shows. I'm on the road. They let me know, Sanchez, you was live 10 hours. That got me damn near through 3 states, nigga. You with me on the road, nigga. Shout out to my truckers, man. Shout out to everybody at work right now listening to this shit, going the long hours. I'm helping you through your shift. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to y'all. So we're going to continue the video, but before we do that, I want to close a lot of these slides. I basically, oh yeah, we still got to play JT video for people that don't know that this man stole a nigga's whole identity. And they letting them all on Joe Rogan. He can work for NASA. I told you that they hire scammers and not professionals. They don't want the truth out. They want alien abductees working for them, grifters and scammers. But look at this, y'all. Spaghettification is the secrets behind the Santa Claus hat. This is the shaman's hat right here. The shaman's hat. And when you start spaghettifying, guess what we create? The third eye. The reptile eye. All these symbols, man, is telling us the same truth. But back to the video. Hold on. Yeah, that's the alien story. Okay, cool. Back to the video.
May be taken as an indication that the technology seemed man-made and of German origin. Although the Germans were unable to identify the technology as something associated with German V weapons, they were able to propose a rather radical form of propulsion mechanism for the craft, and consequently they must at least have had some suspicions about its origin. Nearly all technological descriptions in the document has an quote-unquote man-made character, a plastic tube 2.5 centimeters in diameter filled with a substance that seems to be water, a coil copper material. Furthermore, there is talk of a heavy water reactor and that the German paperclip scientists already are thinking of a nuclear fusion reactor rather than a fission reactor. Thinking of the equipment described, it seems a process something like cold fusion. Something resembling typewriter keys are mentioned in connection with the description of a possible quote-unquote power plant control, and further a quote-unquote ball turret component is mentioned, accompanied by a series of gears with an unusual ratio unknown to the Americans. All in all, there is very little in quote-unquote the air accident report document that suggests something extraterrestrial, but rather very much pointing in a direction of technology that the Nazis tried to perfect during the war. As mentioned previously, General Skogan and his intelligence agents speculated about the possibility of nuclear propulsion. In other words, nuclear-powered UFOs in 1947. The paperclip experts Steinhoff, von Braun, and Karman describes a type of propulsion where oxygen from the atmosphere is drawn into the craft when it moves through the air, and also a process in which a nuclear fusion reaction is formed so that the air outside the craft is ionized and thus drives the vessel forward.
Now you see how this thing propels itself. You see what I'm saying? Just like a fish pushing through water, pushing the water from the front to the back, that's what this object is doing. It's sucking in the oxygen from the top, and then it's pushing it out the bottom and making a field with that around the vehicle. And it now becomes a game on controlling the field, and that is how you steer the Vimana. Because each of the lines that you see around the field is a direction that you want it to go. Northeast, southwest. These are like the magnetic ley lines on an AE map. You see these little lines around a Vimana? That's how you steer it in any different direction, by manipulating these magnetic lines. And that is like northeast, like I said, it's very easy to understand. We're here. It'll tilt it in either direction, and that's how you steer it. And when you looking up in the sky and you see these stars doing all crazy stuff, that's how these things move. Go watch the Men in Black movie with Will Smith. No, Independence Day. When they got in that alien vehicle, it looked just like this, man. And that's how it was moving. But they try to make it like aliens. This is alien technology. This is Kundalini technology. This symbol right here, they turned this into the UFO ship with the light beam going down. You see? They was hiding this knowledge. And in a minute, I'm going to show y'all what the secrets of this Caduceus staff. That's why I got it up. I'm about to show you something about it in a minute. But we got to keep liking and sharing if you didn't, and support the show. We here on a weekend giving you an extended classic. This gonna be a timeless piece of work. I'm gonna download all this when I'm done, just in case any funny stuff happen. All right. So I hope y'all backing up this stuff too if you can. But it's so easy how this thing was working, the science behind it. So I'm gonna just let the video keep playing and I'll interject. I want to say one more thing about this thing is powered by vortex energy, right? And before I play the video, this is what I really wanted to show y'all. It just came to me. So when we were saying that the logo for CERN is the swastika, right? When you look at the CERN logo, it's basically showing you this right here. This is the secrets behind the Fibonacci spiral. You see? Now, why am I bringing this up? This is the Fibonacci spiral right here. But why am I bringing it up? Because look at the word Fibonacci. The word Nazi is the word Nazi. You never peeped that, right? Big facts. The Fibonacci. Don't let them play with you. Because guess what? The CERN ain't showing you nothing but a spiral vortex energy. All life is based on this. This is Kundalini energy. This is the energy of the Big Bang or the flower of life. Don't y'all trust Terrence Howard either. He's another agent. Everything that's happening on the world stage is a result of what the flat earthers are doing. Because what happens in the spiritual realm happens in the physical. Whatever things happen in the spiritual realm before they happen in the physical realm. The physical realm is the world stage. The spiritual realm is the small group of people that are spiritual on the earth, that are really tuned in to the real ancestors, that's activated. These are your spiritual people. They are maintaining the spiritual realm in the flesh. What happens in this realm is really driving what they doing out there. This people that was living during Tesla time, it was so many changes happening in their world. And they didn't know that all of the changes in their world was because of this one man called Nikola Tesla and his philosophy and his concepts. Same with Hitler. Same with this small group of flat earthers. That's why we're so dangerous. It don't take a lot of people. It only take a few people that know what's really going on. If you give them a voice, they gonna wake everybody up because the shit's so easy to see. That's why they got to take your voice away. Because all you need is a voice. And it's gonna wake people up. How people gonna deny this? Now listen, when you say Fibonacci, you just said the word Nazi. Because the Fibonacci spiral is the same Nazi swastika. Everything is everything. Ain't nobody doing this kind of syncretism. When I say that I do the most thorough syncretism in the world, and that ain't no other syncretism like me do, I'm like, you know how Bruce Lee was to martial arts? That's Sanchez to syncretism. I'm literally the best in the world, and that's a bold statement. That's a bold. You want me to tell you how I know I am? Because I got people that's real Hindus saying that they learn from me. People that live on a motherland in Africa who can go and walk up to the Dogon tribe saying they subscribe to me and learn from me. Flat power is worldwide. You got people that's Vedics, that's born over there in India, right next to Buddhist temples. They see this stuff their whole life, and they say, Sanchez, you the best I ever learned from. I never looked at it like this. And they sitting right next to the monks, nigga. I'm not saying this because it's ego, bro. You need to put some respect on it. This is facts, though. And what I do, I'm the best at it. And they don't want that to shine, so I gotta toot my horn. Now check this out, right? Fibonacci is Nazi knowledge of how to create a vortex. Nazi, Fibonacci. Now what does the word fib mean? A lie. Ooh, a little white lie. What's the little white lie? Oh, I'm gonna show it to you. Little white, Snow White. Let me show it to that little white lie. This little white liar, look at it. What lie did this thing tell? The body? The mind projected the body. Mind over matter. The body is a lie that the mind is telling itself in a sleep state. In other words, man is God asleep. God is man awakened. The body is a lie that God is telling itself it is in a sleep state. As a genie in a lamp. That's the God in the flesh. That's you and me. See? So when you say Fibonacci, you're talking about the greatest lie, the paradox of creation, a little white lie. Why is it little and white? Because it's dealing with the pineal gland in the body. It's all a lie, but it's a true lie. Again, a paradox. This is why scientists say we exist and don't exist at the same time. So when you say Fibonacci, the word fib is the root word of fibble, which is fable, which became fab or fable. Fib, tell trifling lies. Fibonacci. What did they do with the Fibonacci spiral? They demonized it and turned it into Satan, a serpent, a snake, when it's just a beautiful spiral of life. They turned it into a liar, Satan, a deceiver, a serpent. You see, a alien. They made it a lie. They turned this into 666. This is what they did. They desecrated it. They turned it into a lie that everybody believes today. And they don't know the truth. They just know the lie, the fib. So when we talk about the Fibonacci spiral and the flower of life and them giving you the Milky Way galaxy with it, that's the fib. That's the fabrication, the fabrication. They turned this truth into a lie, which is what a fib is. And that's what the Milky Way is. It's the truth turned into a lie. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna break this down this deep to y'all. Now, they say that Santa Claus got a candy cane, right? Look at this spiral, this seashell. That's your Christmas candy cane. What does it got to do with the North Pole? Look at what the curve is based around, a central axis point. That's the all-seeing eye right there. You see that? This is the Tipler cylinder. This is you looking down. See, when I talk about the Fibonacci is linked to the technology of the Nazis, is vortex energy, people. Now, let me show you something about the CERN machine. It is dealing with the Fibonacci spiral. Look at it. The CERN machine is based upon the Fibonacci science. And the Fibonacci science is just more Nazi knowledge from paperclip in the 40s. The same knowledge. Everybody just recycling it, just like I'm doing. I'm teaching it in my way now with collages and shit. I'm trying to get y'all to see it, though, because it's only a few wise men that come on the earth that can make these connections, and I'm so fucking glad I'm one of them. See, if you want to be one of these wise men, you got to remember all of these wise men were persecuted. This why Moses was ran up out of Egypt. This why Jesus was put to death on the cross. This why Tesla was killed and his shit was stolen. This why the ancestors was desecrated and was attacked. See, now, if you want to be one of these wise men, the price to pay is to be crucified, to be the one that can speak in parable and make these connections like the Christ did, plural, Christ's plural. Christ were the many men that came on this earth like me and was able to see through the veil and express it to others and help them see, make the blind man see. So you guys are Christ too. You just don't want to be crucified. That's why you ain't activate your Christ energy. Everybody want to be a God, but gods dwell in heaven, and the only way you can get to heaven is to be crucified, death. You got to die in this world. Get over yourself. Who cares if they laugh at you? You telling the truth, nigga. The ancestors on your side. You care too much about the world. Christ didn't give a fuck. He said, I am God, and told others, ye are gods, and it cost him his life. If Christ was telling people to worship a God, they wouldn't have killed him. They killed Christ for saying he was God and for also telling others they were gods. What you think I'm telling y'all, nigga? That we all are projecting this experience from the inside out. This is the knowledge of the real gods, because it was never meant for you to be a Christian. Jesus was never trying to create Christians. Jesus was trying to create more Christ. Jesus was trying to create more gods. Jesus didn't want y'all to take his knowledge and create Christians. He wasn't a Christian, and he told people they were gods. You've been lied to, and it's time to wake up. There are no higher forces other than us when we activate this part of ourselves. Ain't nothing outside of here. Ain't no aliens. This nigga is lying, talking about he was abducted. The only way you can leave this earth is to tap into your kundalini energy. Anybody telling you anything else is lying to you. The only other way that they can leave the earth is to reverse engineer the kundalini energy, like I showed you right here. Ain't no other way. Ain't no aliens coming to pick you up on a fucking ship. Either you went through the CERN portal or you astral projected. That's it. Because they took they basically, let me show you something about CERN, and I'm going to hit play. When you look at this CERN machine, guess what you looking at? Let me pull up this other slide. You know ain't nobody thorough like me. Yeah, they ain't thorough like me. Watch this. This right here is the pineal gland in the middle of the brain. Now, look at this right here. This is your skull cut open. They reverse engineer this right here into this right here. Do you hear me? Them bastards reverse engineered the seat of the soul into a big machine that would allow them to travel through the layers of reality like we do when we have an out-of-body experience. They cut our heads open, and what they saw, they turned it into a physical machine called CERN. I can't make it more clearer than this. Hit the like and share button. Let's go back to the video real quick, baby. Let's go back to the video so I can keep my word.
As previously mentioned, it is my opinion that the term nuclear propulsion is similar to field propulsion, quote-unquote anti-gravity, when the technology is based on a radioactive isotope to provoke these field effects. It may appear that both the official government documents, which of course are undoubtedly authentic, and also the more dubious Majestic 12 documents, which probably contains a bit of authentic information mixed with a portion of disinfo, largely supports the claim that the UFO phenomenon is of German origin. If any independent Nazi quote-unquote black project research teams survived the war, and if the Roswell crash provide adequate evidence that such was the case, one can hardly imagine the shockwaves in the Pentagon 2 years after the war ended. As Nick Cook puts it in his book, The Hunt for Zero Point, all the better then to cloak the sensational discovery in a multi-layered disinformation operation, to conceal it behind the ET myth. The Bell was probably not a UFO, but perhaps an experiment in cutting-edge physics. It is from several sources claimed that the quote-unquote Bell project had as one of its aims to examine issues concerning gravity and potentially develop field propulsion / anti-gravity as a result of this. The question then becomes whether any results of the Bell project eventually was used in connection with propulsion of other SS-initiated black projects, such as saucer-shaped aircrafts, which was originally intended for conventional jet / rocket propulsion. The reasoning is roughly as follows. The person or persons who leaked / hoaxed the white-hot intelligence estimate in 1998 may most likely not have obtained information concerning the Bell from Witkowski, since the information was available only from Witkowski's unknown articles in Polish. Witkowski wrote about the Bell long before 1998 and could obviously not have picked information about the Bell fuel from the later MJ-12 document. We then have two completely independent sources on an exotic form of propulsion which may sound like a form of field propulsion / anti-gravity. The fact that Witkowski mentions beryllium oxides and thorium as elements in detail in quote-unquote RRR Zerum 525 in his early articles in Polish confirms that the MJ-12 document that later mentions the same elements is not fake but real. that the MJ12 document mentions beryllium and thorium as ingredients in the quote-unquote fuel substantiates that Wachowski was right and that the Bell experiments actually took place. If the details in the MJ12 document confirms that the technical descriptions in the document are true, then this is evidence that the Roswell incident actually took place. The technical descriptions in quote-unquote the white-hot intelligence estimate suggests that what crashed near Roswell was an aircraft of German origin. The technical descriptions is about unusual and sophisticated but earthly technology. Ignition coil, magnets, electrodes, engine, exhaust pipes, plastic, copper wire, battery, and gearbox, etc. If Tesla hadn't invented and researched everything he did in his time, our technology today would be considerably worse. But is there something more to Tesla? Tesla was a genius, and his inventions and ideas had no boundaries. Over 100 years ago, during the first decade of the 20th century, Tesla filed a request to patent a peculiar aircraft, which he called, quote-unquote, the world's first flying saucer. The methods used in the design of the flying saucer matched the descriptions of those who claimed to have seen a UFO. With a discoidal capacitor with sufficient size to provide enough thrust to fly, while other small capacitors allowed to control the direction of the flying saucer, to which he added a gyroscopic stabilization system and an electric drive control. Tesla was all about the future, and his futuristic flying object was top of the line. The interior of the ship was equipped with flat screens and external video cameras for the pilot's blind spots. No blind spots in Tesla's flying saucer. Tesla's UFO has eyes, and these were made of electro-optical lenses arranged in quadrants, allowing the pilot to see everything. Just like aircraft today, which are designed with massive computers, screens, and monitors, were placed in Tesla's flying saucer on a console where the browser could observe all areas around the vehicle. And Tesla's incredible invention included magnifying lenses.
So this explains why you don't see no windows on the vimanas. It's one solid object. Ain't no way to look out of it, because it's flown by remote viewing. And this is based upon astral traveling once again. You see what I'm saying? This is the concept of the soul and the body. Think about it. Like I showed you in the Hindu cosmos, your soul is a blind pilot. Remember, this dude that's flying a vimana got his eyes closed. I'm telling you, they designed a vimana off of a meditating human. What happens when we meditate? Watch this. We become a starship, a rocket. We are the rocket. You are the vimana. And so that's what I'm saying. If you look at the vimana and you look at a meditating human, you looking like a vimana. And the whole practice is to form your energy into two counter-rotating cylinders. Zen, to even out your negative and positive, your high and low, and create the Christ energy, the center, the Santa energy. That would allow you to activate the North Pole chimney traveling. Santa travels down a chimney, through the chimney. And this is with the knowledge of becoming a Santa, centering the energy. But like I said, this is the starship. And when we fly this ship, we fly with our eyes closed in meditation, with your eyes closed. So ain't no windows on this thing. You're a blind pilot. Let's go. Like literally everything about the spiritual concept of leaving the earth, you'll find the concept in the Vimana technology. Everything, you just gotta look for it and pay attention and keep your mind open, and you can be a good syncretist like I'm showing you here. Let's go.
which could have been used without changing positions. Tesla's unusual flying saucer was powered by quote-unquote free energy. Since the aircraft did not include a power source of its own, it needed to be energized by the towers of wireless transmission, Tesla's sources of free energy. Basically, it is an incredibly well-designed aircraft, one that we could actually manage to build today, or have we already built it? What happened to this invention? Why are we not flying Tesla's incredible invention today? While the patent was granted, the UFO, or rather called IFO as it had been identified by the insatiable imagination of Tesla, had a drawback. Since the aircraft did not include an energy source of its own, it needed to be energized by the towers of wireless transmission. This was Tesla's sources of free energy. The lack of
Y'all hear this shit, man? I don't think y'all paying attention, bro. You gotta cop this documentary and watch it a few times. In fact, get all of my documentaries. I got a bundle with all of that shit in a bundle. And you can just go through the store. But check this out, right? Tesla was gonna build towers all around the world. And he was gonna build vimana ports to where basically aviation would have looked different if Tesla would have had his way. Instead of having a bunch of airports with airplanes, you would have had, like how we got every airport got a tower, a communication tower. But that tower would have literally powered the aircraft. Now, a lot of people, they say airplanes don't run off of fuel. They think that's a hoax. I haven't looked much into that. They think airplanes do run off electric power. That's a conspiracy theory. I think them people own to something. Because this was an idea that Tesla had. Think about it. An airplane is flying over all these antennas when it's going on its trip. Why don't it wirelessly pull the energy from it? It's flying through a big bubble of energy that antenna is giving off, and that energy just being wasted. Everything that is giving off energy, we can be harnessing everything for energy to propel our devices. This is a very legitimate idea, a fucking genius idea. Wi-Fi charging of your phone is a Tesla idea. Did you know that? The fact that you can sit your phone on a table and it'll charge up wirelessly, that's only gonna get more advanced. And now you ain't gotta put your phone on the table. You can just hold it near it. If you just near a charging antenna, it'll charge your phone wirelessly. You don't got to sit it on there. You don't gotta plug it in the wall. We can expand this wireless signal that's charging a phone, which is what Tesla was saying, and you can just have charging centers. And it won't be like a USB hub in a wall. It'll be a signal area, like a signal in an area. And once you make a network of those signals, our devices will never run out of power. Because it'll just constantly be charged up because you'll be near an antenna at all times. In other words, in the future, people ain't gonna have to charge their phones. Devices gonna just work all the time. This was what we had in the ancient world, y'all. We just trying to catch up to the ancient concepts. Tesla was there. This is what they was talking about in the 40s. A world where we're just pulling energy right out of the ether. We already almost there, man. Like I said, they got technology now where you can just sit your phone on it and it'll charge it. You got the technology to expand that. They just gotta ease it in little by little. And before you know it, we're gonna be in a world where objects don't even need to be charged anymore. And when artificial intelligence start being powered by this stuff, it won't need to be charged. You know, like an AI bot that look like a human. You say how that AI bot get its power? Wirelessly from an antenna. How you get your power? From the North Pole. Every single human right now is spiritually tethered to the North Pole. And when you break that tethering line, your body gonna fall down like a puppet with the strings cut. That's what they call rip. Like when Neo left the Matrix and took his puppet strings off, he unplugged. That's the chakras, man. That's the chakras in the central nervous system. That's when you take the suit off by unbuttoning. Every button on that shirt, right? Every button on that shirt is us undressing to go back to Eden. Because why? We were nude in Eden. We take the body off by unbuttoning. That's why all the chakras going down like that. So that's what I'm telling y'all, right? While I'm getting all unbuttoned here like a fool. I'm getting too animated. But what I'm saying here is that, but Tesla was a genius. Just think of that. If we create a world where, and that's what they did, think about this, and I gotta say this, it may sound like I'm talking too much, but it's so much information to give. Watch this. All around the world, man, the ancestors had created obelisks all around the world. And you gotta ask yourself, why did they do this? All around the world, man, people was just creating a worldwide union of antennas. Guess what, y'all? This was the first time that they tried to create Tesla's idea on the earth. That's what the Masons don't want to tell y'all. I just read it to you in my documentary. Go get my documentary. Check it out, man. It's obelisks all around the world. This is the remnants of an ancient network of free energy. These are all Tesla towers. Tesla had this concept too, a worldwide network of towers where we can charge our electric items for free. So you won't need gas in your car. You won't need gas in your airplane. But the people who run the petroleum industries, they don't like this, y'all. They don't like this. This probably gonna make something. If anything happened to Sanchez, remember this stream right here, y'all. Let's play the video.
The funding led to the abandonment of the development of the towers, so eventually the ship also fell into darkness and Tesla's UFO, or rather IFO, was never made. But hold on, never? Actually, don't be so sure, because the U.S. Secret Service seized all patents belonging to Tesla after his death for quote-unquote reasons of national security. Now, if...
Oh, my God! So Tesla is one of the most geniuses-minded people in our time. He dies in a poor hotel in New York, and the government go and confiscate all his shit after he die, y'all, after the fact. They let him wither away, didn't give him much resources, and soon as the man died, they moved in to get his stuff. Y'all ain't putting this together? And after that, they took Tesla's stuff and used it for bad things Tesla didn't want them to do. Because Tesla was really trying to introduce free energy to the world. Think about this, right? I'm going to show you something else. Watch this. Watch this. Here, the first cars that was ever created were electric cars, man. They lying to y'all. Why didn't they teach you this in school? The Henry Ford didn't have a gas-powered car. Henry Ford, the first cars that we ever made were electric cars. How we just bringing that back into 2024? Everybody think electric cars are cool. Listen, the first cars we made, you hand crank them. You crank it up and it'll take you all around town for a simple crank. Come on, bro, that beat paying for gas. Have you seen the gas prices? Come on, bro. You telling me that we got more advanced? We fail, man. We fail. We de-evolve. We already had electric cars that you can fucking power yourself, free energy. No gas. And then they came along and with the gas powered cars, and you think that we moving forward with technology. We going backwards. We already had electric cars. How we getting them again? Because somebody wanted to sell some gas. They got rid of this whole world right here. They wrote this out of history. They don't even teach this. People, they started getting advanced with electric energy. And this is the 1600s right here. They started to make, listen, the ancestors had towers all around the world. These were like Tesla charging stations. These towers emitted a bubble of wireless energy that charged all of your electric devices in the ancient world. Those obelisks ain't there for decoration. That ain't got nothing to do with the pharaoh's penis. Ain't got nothing to do with the pharaoh's penis. This is the idea that Tesla had to make a network of towers all around the world for free energy. We did this before. Somebody came and tore the towers down. That's the story of Babel. Go read the Babel story. We was all on one accord, we built the network all around the world, a world union. It was a damn utopia. Free energy. It was the world Tesla envisioned. And this wasn't that long ago, y'all. This wasn't even that long ago that we had manifested Tesla vision even before Tesla was born. How you think Tesla get the idea? Because he studied like I'm doing. Tesla was a syncretist. But he was an even better syncretist than me because he was able to turn the shit into tangible technology. I'm not there yet. I know my place. That's why I say Tesla is a guru and a master that even I kneel to. Real talk. Because he was operating on a level. He had reverse engineered the ancestor shit too. People say Tesla was an agent too. No, the man wasn't. I'll debate anybody on it. Email me. Email me. We'll set up the debate with a moderator. A man giving your ass free energy as an agent. You sound stupid, but let's debate it.
If Tesla's ideas were insane as some had categorized them, why would the United States Secret Service seize the patents for reasons of national security? Let's think about it for a minute. The ideas of the great Nikola Tesla are incredible and, better yet, way ahead of its time. Many of his inventions aimed at contributing toward world peace through free energy access, but governments and financiers of the time did not follow the progress of Tesla's mind. Years later, his groundbreaking models and technological projects were used by the Nazis, not the way he had imagined it. And now numerous of his projects are held by the Secret Service, far away from the eyes of the public. The great German-American theoretical physicist Friedwort Winterberg stated that the generation of giga-electron volt potentials made possible in the ultra-high vacuum of space has the capability of leading to a workable anti-gravity propulsion system for spaceflight. It is the ultra-high vacuum of space by which this can be achieved. And if the spacecraft acting as a capacitor is charged up to the GeV potentials in a total vacuum, it will levitate. If the spacecraft is positively charged against the electron cloud surrounding the craft and with a magnetic field in the order of 10,000 Gauss, it becomes insulated against the Earth's electron cloud up to GeV potentials. The spacecraft and its surrounding electron cloud form a virtual diode with a GeV potential difference. This in turn produces positive magnetic buoyancy or anti-gravity in the spacecraft. This is also the basis of the Byfield-Brown effect and the working mechanism behind the crude electrostatic ion lifters used by amateur experimenters into electrogravitics. U.S. Department of Energy and Department of Defense research conducted by Winterberg and other physicists working on the relationship between plasma and gravity has disclosed a number of interesting and yet publicly unknown facts about the true nature of gravity. This information has been kept secret for over 50 years. The reason there was so many quote-unquote flying saucer sightings in the 50s and 60s is because governments were experimenting with flying saucer technology. T.T. Brown's technology meant free energy through perpetual motion. One of the hottest debates in physics today is over the true nature of space. Is it a luminiferous ether or is it some abstract?
Now, before we go into this part, I want to talk about this screen work right here on what I'm showing right here. How many of y'all familiar with Star Trek, the Enterprise, Captain Spock and all that? See, my thing is, man, that the Enterprise is two words, to enter the prism. The word prize is a play on the word prism. What is the prism? You are a meditating God, man. That's what this triangle is. Those 7 colors are your chakras, your 7 chakras. You are the pyramid. You're the prison. The word prison is the word person. You got to rearrange it. The word person is the word prison. The body is a prison cell. And the torus field is a cell. So if you look up, and you know I ain't making this up, bro. This is the chakras when we meditating, like we look like a pyramid. But check this out, right? The thing is this: Enterprise is to enter the prison. Now look, the Enterprise ship is the mama's uterus, which shapes like the earth, which shaped like the genie lamp, which shaped like that damn Vimana. Where do you think they get this concept from in Star Trek? This Vimana ship. I told you they not original and that I'm a syncretist. Didn't I tell you that? I see all the connections, bro. They gave us this same thing with Star Trek. Look at the flying saucer with the airplane. Bro, we've been making flying saucers. Look at this right here, man. I want you to see this because that's the Enterprise down to the T. Even the 2 little things on the side, these the 2 little things on the side right there, just like the Enterprise. Look at that. They didn't get this out of nowhere, bro. This stuff, these are concepts that been around. Now, guess what I'm telling you? When they're on the Enterprise, they can't even feel it moving. Watch this. The Enterprise is so big, you can't feel it moving. Now, guess what globalists gonna say? That don't make no sense. And guess what I'm gonna tell them? Ain't that's what y'all tell us about the globe? We can't feel it moving through space because it's so big. We would feel it as we was on the surface of it. But what if we was inside of it? We wouldn't feel it. If we was in a big ass car, you wouldn't feel those bumps in the road that much. I know because I drive a big truck and I drive a little car before, and I drive past the same bump. And when you in a little car, you feel all of that bump. When you in a big old 18-wheeler, you don't feel that bump. And if you scale this up, the less you feel if you on the inside of it, not the outside of it. Now the globalist can you see what I'm saying? Now check this out. In the movie Star Trek, right? This is how the Vimana work. Earth is a big Vimana. What am I saying? Yes, I'm the first flat earther to say we can possibly be moving right now. I got my mind still open. See? I'm a reasonable guy, right? Now check this out, right? I've always tried to reach a common ground with the globalists. I tell them, hey man, I believe in a globe too. I just teach that we're on the inside of it. If you think we moving through space, okay, let's go with that. Here's a better theory. What if we're on the inside of it? You see what I'm saying? Now we getting somewhere with it, and we all reach a common ground. So now watch this though, because what you see on Star Trek is legitimate. Now this is the inside of the Enterprise ship from Star Trek. Now, if you ever been to a space center, which I've been several times, you've been inside of something called a gravitron. This is trying to show you how gravity works. Why the earth is moving and you stay stuck to it or whatever. Now, I'm saying that they lying to you about this because we don't live inside the earth. They say we live on the surface of it. They're trying to recreate the Enterprise. And the only way you can recreate this is with Vimana technology. You see what I'm saying? If we in a big old Vimana, like a big hot air balloon, that's the size of a fucking continent. Nigga, we can play football games in that bitch. It'll be locked in the sky just hovering. That's why I said each one of the stars may be starships. The sky full of Vimanas, like the end of the movie Signal. Like a sky full of hot air balloons. And these hot air balloons are what we call in the planets. And we live inside of them. The atmosphere is the big bubble, the helium that's making a balloon ascend. And if the balloon is rising up, it'll make us feel like when we jump up, the ground is catching us. But I don't think that that's a real concept. I'm just showing you how you can take the globe concept and make it work with this, and it will explain better of how gravity would work, even though it's all bullshit. But what does work and what ain't bullshit is Vimana technology. That whole hot air balloon thing was just me giving you a concept. But this right here, you can scale this up and we can create, like if you on a big old blimp, you can be floating through the sky on a big old blimp and you won't even know you in the sky. You feel me? The blimp's so big, you don't even feel it moving. Like a big truck rolling over a little bump, you wouldn't even feel it. So I believe that's what the earth is, a big Vimana. Now they giving us the gravitron, but this is the layout of the Enterprise. You see what I'm saying? And the science behind the Enterprise is the science behind the Vimana, and that it really makes sense. Like Star Trek may be sci-fi, but it's real applicable science behind it, bro. People was really, the Enterprise ship was created in the 40s, and they found out that if it get to a certain speed, it'll phase out. Like if you ever watch Star Trek, when the Enterprise ship gets so to the speed of light, it disappear. And it pop out in a whole nother location in the universe. It's able to make a wormhole. And that's what the Vimana was able to do. So the Enterprise ship, they showed it to you in another movie. Let me show it to you. It's called a DeLorean, Back to the Future. This is the silver car with the doors open, with the two doors open that allow for time travel. This is another form of the Enterprise ship. As you can see, the two doors open is the two little pillars right there on each side. They've been giving you this right in your face. This is the DeLorean, the time traveling ship. So when you pull up Hitler's Vimana, it's a silver bell. That is the Hershey Kisses. All right? They rubbing it in your face. That's why I'm on here so passionate, bro. I don't like that they playing with everybody. They rub this in your face. That's what makes it so diabolical. They give you Hershey's Kisses. They give you Christmas silver bells. They know the secrets, man. And it just gets your boy worked up like, bro, I'm a nigga that know the truth. I got to tell it to others because it'll set them free. You see what I'm saying? Why do you think they like to sing about silver bells? Silver bells. What is the whole shit with the Hershey's Kisses? Bro, this is the Vimana. They've been rubbing it in your face. When your third eye is open, you can see the bullshit, bro. The whole holiday shit, silver bells. Come on, man. They've been telling you the shit right in your face. Ain't nobody listening. Ain't nobody listening. So you get the point now. This is the Iron Maiden. That's another form of it, the Iron Maiden. And inside the Iron Maiden, guess what? It's showing you plugged into the matrix. They tried to make you think that this was a torture machine, but this is the Tipler cylinder. This a time traveling machine. They lying to you, bro. They lying to you, nigga. This the Statue of Liberty right here. They tried to make you think that the ancient Iron Maiden machine was a torturing device. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. The Catholic Church know the truth. They know about time travel. They call it the man of sin. Look at here. What is the man of sin? The dude that used the technology of the Babylonians. That hat that you see him wearing, that's the Neuralink hat. That's how we left Eden. The serpent made us sin and fall. Look at here. This is what it looked like when you're a puppet plugged into the matrix. And this is from the Catholic Church from 1737, nigga. They ain't fucking with me. Look at Neo taking off his puppet strings. Look at Neo back. That's your chakras, man. See, this is Benjamin Button. This is your chakras right here. This why they call you a dragon. Cause the dragon got a back like this. Look at the back of the dragon, bro. Look at a dragon's back. Look at a dragon's back. This is the Satan knowledge. But the dragon, the dragon. This is, like I told you, the Kundalini, another representation. This is your chakras down the central nervous system, the spinal cord. You're unplugging from the simulation. Neo taking off all of his wires is the man coming out of the Iron Maiden. When Neo is coming out of his pod, he's coming out of the Iron Maiden, unplugging up from all the spikes and stuff. About to shut down. You see what I'm saying here? They showing you this in the Matrix. Him coming out of his pod, all the doggone plugs he unplugging. This is the Iron Maiden. It wasn't a torture machine. It was a Taurus machine. You see what I'm saying? So all the spikes of the Iron Maiden is the plugs that you see him pulling out. And the Catholic Church is showing you the same concept right here. They knew the truth about this world. They called it purgatory. They used to teach that earth was hell at some point. Then they changed it because they didn't want people knowing the truth for whatever reasons. The truth went into a cult. But this Vimana right here is the Iron Maiden. And this is it, the DeLorean, all this stuff, is the starship, all of that. Syncretism, baby. I'm very thorough with it. And here is another form of the DeLorean right here. Again, this is based on flat earth knowledge, because if you pull up an AE map, you would see how the earth powers itself, and you will see that the earth is a big vimana. If you look at this, and then if you look at what NASA made here, all of these blades help steer the thing in any direction. By channeling the energy toward any section, you can tilt it and point it in that direction, and it's based on the same principles of how the earth is how the magnetic ley lines of the earth are laid out. That's how they steer this flying saucer. It ain't aliens, y'all. It's the Air Force, it's the military, the government hiding advanced technology right in your face. And they got sellouts helping them hide it with you. And that's why I'm giving Billy Carson that work. That's why he getting the work.
T.T. Brown's technology meant free energy through perpetual motion. One of the hottest debates in physics today is over the true nature of space. Is it a luminiferous ether, or is it some abstract 10-dimensional Riemannian construction like Dr. Albert Einstein proposed in his theory of general relativity? If it does indeed require a superdimension construction to explain the physical laws of the universe, one must wonder why this construction could not be replaced by one using real and observable dimensions like width, length, and depth. If, on the other hand, space is a luminiferous ether or some tenuous fluid, then one wonders why the functions of the physical laws of the universe cannot be observed and, hence, translated into a mathematical construct of reality, of three real dimensions with time expressed as a ratio of relative distances and vectors. Strange as it may seem, space has already been properly described right here on Earth as far back as 1954. Space is a fine structure, a tenuous medium, fluid, or field. All gravitational, electromagnetic, and electrostatic phenomena occur as a result of various interactions of energy waves in this fluid space. In pages 172 through 174, 176, 178, and 180 of Scientific American in 1954, a brilliant discussion giving three-dimensional explanations of many nuclear phenomena was conducted by Albert G. Ingalls. Crockwell's explanations offer the only real solution to the apparent paradox which certain nuclear events present to the researcher. A particle sometimes behaves like a wave. The discussion stated, it seems reasonable as a first thought to accept each particle-field relationship as an inseparable something, which is perceived sometimes in one fashion and sometimes in another. We might also think of the particle portion of the effect as that which is experienced radial to the course or potential course. We know that some relationship of this sort exists, whether or not it is exactly as stated. Variation of one effect is accompanied by a reciprocal variation in the other effect. In other words, the more the particle field manifests itself as a particle, the less it manifests itself as a field, and vice versa. We also know that charged particles in motion exhibit a sense or quality of right or left-handedness which characterizes their charges. From this, we can infer a kind of tangential motion in space around the course of a particle, a motion which differs between particles of unlike charge. The discussion went on to say, it is important to remember that the field does not rotate as a unit. The areas of the field vary only in the diameter and the phase of translation. As the field is explored from the center outward, the phase of rotation lags progressively. Hence, its structure can be considered as a series of concentric phase shells, each 360 degrees out of step with adjoining neighbors. The field and particle are one. and at all points the action is similar. The diameter of translation is greatest when a particle is at relative rest. An increase of particle field velocity is accompanied by an increased rate of rotation, but a smaller radius of rotation. The summary statements of the discussion brought out a very interesting point about James Clerk Maxwell, the Einstein of the 19th century. I submit a line from the great James Clerk Maxwell's preface to his theory of.
Listen, everybody, I gave you so much of my time today. I gotta end it right here. I'm sorry to cut it off abruptly, but I can't let it go over 6 hours because I do want to trim it and edit it. YouTube won't let me edit it if I keep going. So I'm gonna stop right here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I appreciate all of the donations. Be on the lookout for the next episode.